Guys, this one really hurt last night. This was the exact one I gave in the YouTube picks last night. 5-1. And honestly, this was looking so on pace. I think Rosier had 7 or 8 points by the second half. By the start of the fourth quarter, he only had 15. Then he decides to hit two threes in a row, two free throws, and another three to absolutely destroy our 25x chance. So instead of getting the 25x, that beautiful 25x, we got that 2x. Still a good night, obviously, 5-1 night. We got this perfect Indiana stack in the Denver game here. Bruce Brown over, Nembhard over, and Michael Porter Jr. over. And then I went with the targets on Lamb with Dak Prescott's pass attempts. So tonight we're going to do a similar slip and just go over some of my favorite stacks for tonight and build another 6 flex. Before that, I do want to go over the Discord profits. It is Monday, so every week I'm going to go over how the week went. And this week you can see right away, did not go well. Minus 42.4 units. So it was an awful down week, but it's actually only the second down week of the 8 weeks that the Discord has been up. Overall, still up 318.45 units. Now I'm showing you this, guys, first of all, because I'm transparent. I'm not trying to hide anything on the channel. I do have down weeks, as you could see. But in the long run, I know that my profits are always going up. And I'll show you later in the video, I am limited for those of you that don't know. That's why I'm playing $5 per bet on these. But just to show you, Prizepicks would not limit me if I was a losing bet. But the Discord profits pretty much explain it for itself there. But just in general, I just want to show you guys that not everyone is going to win every day. There's a lot of grifters in the sports betting market that kind of hide all their losses. They show their win daily. They play a little 2-power and show that it hit. Yes, anyone could win a 2-power every single day, but no one is going to be profiting every day. And this is more realistic how a long-term graph is going to look. And you can see last time I was at a downfall right here, spiked right back up over time, and right now we're in this downfall, and I'm extremely confident that I'll bounce back on this week, probably make well over the 42.2 units that we lost out last week. Overall in 2024, we're still up 32.2 units. It's only been 2 weeks, so very good there. If you have no idea what that means, just multiply that by whatever you're putting on each entry. So $10, you'd be up $320 about. So get onto the board for today. Hope you guys appreciate that transparency. And we're going to start it off with some NBA. I have 4 picks from there and then 2 picks from the NFL. The NFL, the game's starting soon, the picks that I have. So depending on when you see this video, you might not see the actual pick. So I'm going to give you 2 options for the NFL. First, we're going to start it off in the NBA though. With LeBron James on the under 8.5 assists. This line is set too high, so we're going with the less. And we're going to pair this up with Anthony Davis on the under 28.5 points. So let's take a look right away what we're looking at here. LeBron James under 8.5 assists. First of all, every sportsbook has it at 7.5, kind of juiced towards the over. Well, very juiced towards the over, except PointsBet has them at 8.5. And look at the difference just if I click from 8.5 to 7.5. So 36% hit rate at 8.5. We drop this down 1 assist, it's at 50%. So obviously there's a big difference between 1 assist. If you guys do get this at 8 or 8.5, I don't know if I would play it, but at 8.5, it's definitely the play on the under. Now tonight, the only problem that's going against us is it is a bit of a tight game. Look at this. Decent total. Not really. I mean, it's not super high, but pretty decent middle of the pack. And then we got a tight game, -1 spread for the OKC and Lakers at home. So yes, there's things against us, but I do think 8.5 is a tad too high. And even with the Lakers at home, his splits do get better. But in general, I'm not too concerned about the extra minutes because we could see he does average 34 minutes, LeBron here. And if we bump this up to like 35, which he's probably going to get tonight, probably 35 plus, he still only has a 36% hit rate at the 8.5. So the point is here, 8.5 is too high. And we're going to be pairing this with Anthony Davis on the under 28.5 points. Now for him, he doesn't have like a ton of juice towards the under. See, Caesars actually has juice towards the over. BetMGM has juice towards the under. Pretty much a flat spot for, but the reason I'm taking him is just because of that strong correlation with LeBron. If you guys watch the Lakers and just know in general, a lot of AD's points are going to be coming from LeBron assists. So if LeBron is not having a good passing game, AD is more likely to go under his points. And it also means that LeBron is probably going over his points prop, right? If he's passing less, he's going to be the one scoring on the team mostly, or maybe Austin Reeves pops off. So another slip, I actually have Austin Reeves over 5.5 assists with LeBron over points. But just to say, you have these sort of correlations here. If LeBron's not getting a lot of assists, probably getting more points, and AD's probably getting less points. So of course, it's the exact same matchup that I just showed you versus OKC. And in general, like OKC's defense is pretty mid here. You could see 14th in points allowed and 17th in assists allowed. So it's not an extremely difficult matchup, but it is a pretty fair matchup. And the worst thing is that it might be a tight game. And if we look at AD's minutes, he's already averaging 36.1, and even with that average, 37% hit rate. So he's probably going to get around those 36 minutes tonight. So that's going to be the first 2 picks of the slip. Now we're going to move on to NFL very quickly here. And there's a couple options here. The first one I'm looking at is Jalen Hurts on the pass attempts with Devonta Smith on the receiving targets. So I'm not going with this one personally, but I know a lot of you are not going to be able to see the other one I'm going to go with because it's going to be on Josh Allen. But Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, I would go with the unders here. Now, if you check underdog, Devonta Smith's actually set at 7.5 targets. Dallas is set at 7 targets, and on Prizepicks set at 7.5. So the Philly players are set a bit too high in terms of receiving targets. Now, the problem is Jalen Hurts, I think, should be set around 30 pass attempts, maybe 30.5. So Jalen Hurts on some sportsbooks is actually set at 30.5, which is why I don't really like the 29.5 spot. Like, some do have him at 29.5, so it's still a decent spot, but it seems to be a bit conflicted. I would be obviously much happier taking this at under 30.5. So that is going to be like one of the pairs I would go with. But if you see this video on time, I like a way better one, which is going to be on Josh Allen. First of all, let me find him here. Josh Allen on the over 19.5 completions. This line is set too low. I'm also going to go with Dalton on the over 3.5 receptions. This one is looking great for us. So first of all, Josh Allen is set at 20.5 on some sports books. And then on the sports book that he set at 19.5, heavy juice towards the over. I mean, Caesars only has minus 121, but DraftKings all the way at minus 135. So that's great to see to start. Then, I mean, we could check like his last 10 and stuff on how he does, but I'm not too concerned with that type of stuff. Over 19.5 is the play based on the juice. I mean, obviously his splits are still good at 59% hit rate this season, but it's a completely different game tonight. Now, second on Dalton. First of all, he has hit this 75% of the times this season, and the juice is heavy on his over 3.5 assists. Caesars has him all the way at minus 166. I think that's a bit too much juice, but you can see the other ones minus 130 and minus 145. So the over is definitely to play on Dalton's receptions, and the over is to play on Josh Allen's over completions. So you combine these two. Obviously, if Josh Allen is completing a lot of passes, and look at that, as I'm filming this, literally gets bumped. So we're going to have to probably replace that with Diggs. But yeah, the point is, if Josh Allen is completing a lot of passes, of course, the receivers are going to get their receptions. So instead, we're going to actually have to go with Diggs here. I originally did not want to go with Diggs here, but I'm looking at the odds now, and it looks like they did shift. Before, it was a bit conflicted. Some books kind of had juice towards the under, some had juice towards the over. Looks like the over is kind of the consensus right now. Before, it wasn't the case. And you can see, again, BetMGM has some juice all the way up minus 160. Good splits, main receiver, and can't really go wrong with this pick. I was just a bit worried about the juice because some was kind of leaning towards the under. But Diggs, Allen instead of Dalton. So we're going to go with those on the over. And if you need the replacement, you're going to want to go with Jalen Hurts and Devonta. Like I said, Devonta is set at 8.5 on Prizepicks, 7.5 on underdog. So we're definitely getting some value there on the under. This next one's going to be back in the NBA. And it's not going to be for the slip, but just kind of a bonus pick for the video if you guys are interested in this one. I'm looking at Draymond Green on his under 5.5 rebounds. He is back tonight. Now, the thing with Draymond is a lot of uncertainty. We have no idea what kind of process he went through. He went through therapy or whatever it is. We don't know how he's going to come back and play. But the under 5.5 is quite juiced on every single sports book. He has only hit this 40% of the times this season when he was playing. And it's just kind of a surprise pick. If you guys feel like playing Draymond tonight, maybe he does come back and actually get ejected. You know, it's going to be nice for you guys. This is kind of just a little fun pick for Draymond's return. If you like his unders, definitely grab his under 5.5 rebound. That's probably the best prop for him tonight. To actually end off the slip, we're going to go to the Cleveland game and grab Jared Allen on the under 17.5 points. And we're going to pair him up with Max Juice on the under 3.5 assists. So let's start with Jared Allen here. Under 17.5 points does look good. FanDuel does have him at 16.5. Every other sportsbook at 17.5. But with juice towards the under. They are playing against Chicago tonight, and they are playing at home. But overall, at 16.5 points, he has only cleared this 34% of the time this season. And he has been in a really good recent form, but you do have to consider the games that include Donovan Mitchell. There was a stretch where Jared Allen was absolutely popping off, and I feel like the lines haven't been really adjusted ever since Donovan Mitchell came back, so I am liking the under here. So we'll check him out at 17.5 points, and of course, he's only hit this 9 out of 32 games. Let's tag him here with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, and again, he's only hit this 25% of the times this season. Let's check the last 5 with them together, and again, only one time. So I do think the lines have not really been adjusted well for Donovan Mitchell's return. So we're definitely going to go with the under 17.5 points here. Now to pair this up with, we're going to go with Max Juice on the under 3.5 assists. Again, another player whose usage definitely increased with Donovan Mitchell being out, as well as Garland, but that's been a while since Garland's been out. So juice on the unders everywhere. Minus 125, minus 125, minus 130. FanDuel's the only one with a bit less juice at minus 114. But in general, if we go and tag in Donovan Mitchell here, splits definitely reduce here to 43% from that 51%. So definitely liking the unders here. The only thing that's going against us is the small spread. Might be a bit of a tight game, and the fact that the Cavs are at home. So that's the only things going against us, but I do like the unders either way. So that is the slip for today. And just to show you guys my limits, if I go and try to put $100 on this, it's going to say maximum sports in your entry is only $25. And if I try to put $25, it's not going to let me do that either, because I'm only allowed to put $100 of slips per day. So I'd rather do $25 slips, so I could send the links to my Discord. And this is going to be the slip for tonight. Josh Allen, Diggs, Jared Allen, Strus, and then LeBron and Davis. Let's get it.